Hey everyone, Starknight here. For today's video, we're gonna be doing a little bit of a drawing practice. So this will be just a very chill video. I will also be sharing some advice and tips that I've learned, and maybe it will help you sometimes when you start practicing with your drawing. So my process whenever I'm practicing is way different whenever I record a video for an illustration. But still, I hope this video helps you, so let's get started. The first thing I did was I looked for a reference in Pinterest. I'm going to start with this very easy standing pose, just to warm myself up before I start drawing some complicated ones. Warming up with easy drawings before attempting a difficult one is beneficial because it helps to loosen up the muscle and prepare the hand for more complex movement. I think it can also help with our creative juices flowing and improve our focus. And by warming up with easy drawing, this will help us to practice and improve our skills and gradually before moving on to a more difficult drawing. So here, I'm trying to capture the overall shape of the pose. I'm trying to figure out each part so when I draw it on my own now, I will have a short understanding of my subject. Now I'm starting to do the pose on my own. Keep in mind I still have the reference on. I feel like some artists tends to avoid using reference because other people keeps saying it's cheating, but it's a very common and accepted practice in the art community. As an artist, I often use reference as a tool to help me accurately get the pose of my reference or my subject, especially if I'm doing a realistic art. There's nothing wrong relying with references because this can also help you improve your skills, but just keep in mind to use it properly. So after capturing the overall pose, I'm now starting to put the little details like the eyes and the hair. In these early stages of your drawing, it's important to not overthink the details. You should keep your mind open and relaxed. Because if you start overthinking and getting stressed with each detail of your drawing, it's gonna start exhausting you, and eventually you will stop with what you're doing. So here, when I'm sketching the clothing part, I'm very loose. Since there's a lot of part of the clothing and the arms are getting bunched up, I have to keep that in mind when I did the sketch. And you will see on the reference the pants are not fit. There's a big volume like flowing down. After I sketch the character, we're now adding the colors. Now for the details of the shadow and the lighting, I only simplified it. It's really important to get a reference with proper lighting and shadow. This will help you widen your understanding when it comes to the depth and the dimension of your subject. Understanding how light and shadow works can help us be confident with our decision. So here, when I did the lips, I first started with a soft brush. Then here, we also started working on with the eyes. As you can see here, after I fixed the overall shape of the character, that's when I started focusing on with the small details. So here, to add more texture to the face, I started adding the lighting. When it comes to the lighting of a piece, proper lighting can help to convey the mood and the atmosphere of your drawing. Because without proper lighting, the drawing may appear flat and it will lack visual interest for the viewers. So here we're starting to do the hair. It's important to capture the overall shape of the hair. It's very easy to get overwhelmed with this part. That's why it's important to divide them into each section. And that's when you start doing the each strand of the hair. Then I started adding these hard shadows. I didn't render the hair too much since this is just a practice drawing. So I just added the important highlights and the shadows. Then after the hair, we started working on with the clothing. I used the lasso tool to cover up the whole shape. Since the whole outfit is already very dark, the first thing I started working on was with the lighting. I always try to change my process when coloring once in a while just to try out what are the things that works for me. Then as you can see here, after I did the lighting, I started adding these shadows. This will help give more depth to the clothing. Even though the clothing is already dark, I just wanted to put the shadows to also emphasize the lighting. And I use these harsh shadows to show that the lighting is coming from the right side. It's important that whenever you practice your drawing, Always try your best to analyze the things that you're doing. Because after all, what's the point of practicing if you're not learning anything? After our first piece, we're now starting to work on with our second one. I chose a reference with a head tilting in a 3/4 quarter view. Since usually when I'm drawing a head view like this, I always struggle. This is why learning your weak points in art is very important. This will allow you to identify the areas where you need improvement and focus your effort on, and it will help you become more stronger in those areas and aspects, and it can help with the overall quality of your drawing. And understanding your weaknesses can help you to better understand your strengths and how to utilize them. So don't be ashamed if you have a lot of weaknesses in art. We all grow at our own paces. Just trust the process and things will eventually work out. So here, after I capture the shapes of the reference, now I'm starting to sketch the overall gesture. Learning gesture drawing can help you quickly capture the movement and the posture of your subject. This is what I'm saying earlier, to always focus on the bigger picture before the small details. Rather than focusing on the details, doing gesture practices will allow you to capture the overall feeling and energy of your drawing or your subject. And this is a really great practice to get better with your drawing skills. Your muscle memory will get better and it will help you finish your drawing more quicker. So here, after I did some minor adjustment to the sketches, we're now starting to work on with the hair. So I tried my best to draw the overall shape first, and then that's when I started adding the small strands. You know, aside from practicing, it's really important to develop your patience in art. As you can see here, I'm just going with the flow of the sketches. Of course, it's important to keep in mind of the rules. But at the end of the day, creating a piece of art can often take a significant amount of time and effort. That's why you shouldn't rush it. It can take many days, hours, or even weeks to complete just a simple drawing. But keep in mind, it's just normal. Just let your creative juices flow. If nothing's coming in, then just take a break. And I'm sure the final product of your drawing, even though how long it takes, will be just like how you envisioned it. So after the sketching part, we're now doing the colors. When I rendered the skin for this drawing, I started with the soft shadows first. After putting the soft shadows, I'm now starting to put the hard shadows using the flat brush. We also started working on with the lips. To be honest, out of all of the features in the face, I'm always excited to do the lips. Lips really has a big impact to your face features. For this part, I had a little bit of a hard time doing the eyes since it's in a 3/4 quarter view. I've always struggled doing faces in this type of view because when I start flipping the canvas, it looks really weird. By the way, for those of you who don't know, if you feel like something is weird or wrong in your art, you can flip your canvas, and usually you're gonna spot there the mistakes. Now keep in mind, this only applies for digital artists. I'm not sure how traditional artists do this type of technique. So after we render the skin here, we're starting to work on with the hair. I really enjoyed putting the shadows and the lighting here, and I really love the hairstyle of our reference. So here, after I put the hard highlights, I used the blending tool to make it look more natural on the hair. Then after the hair, I used the lasso tool to do the clothing. So as you can see from my previous drawing, my process is really repetitive, and it's something I didn't develop just overnight. It took me so many days, months, and years just to be able to do all of that process. So for rendering the clothes here, I started with the lighting again, since the overall clothes of our character is very dark. Then I started adding the small details. Overall, I learned a lot from this practice, and it's been a while since I've drawn very easily. So here's the result of our practice for today. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Thank you so much for watching until the end of the video. It's been a while since I was able to draw freely and just draw whatever I want. And I hope you enjoyed this week's video. For more contents like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up if you like this video. Feel free to comment down below what you want to see next, and I'll see you next time.